Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing great. Welcome to another video for our playlist Daily Civil Engineering. Uh, in last video, as we have discussed in detail about the concrete cover, where we have defined and differentiated the basic differences between three types of concrete covers: a clear cover of concrete, what is nominal cover of concrete, what do we mean by effective cover of concrete, right? If you want to know the detailed differences between these three types of concrete covers, like clear cover, nominal concrete cover, effective concrete cover, you can go to the previous video, which you will find in the playlist of Daily Civil Engineering. So now in today's video, our focus will be our focus is to see the concrete covers we usually provide in various building components. So by components, what I mean by components is like different components in building, like footings, beams, slabs, columns, shear walls, and other RCC members. So let's start. Let me define the concrete cover again to make it more clear if any one of you guys is not familiar with the exact definition of concrete cover. So keep watching the mouse cursor. Actually, this is the surface of concrete, right? Outer surface of the concrete, and this is rebar or reinforcement inside the concrete. So what actually is the concrete cover? In simple words, we can say that the distance between the outer surface to the reinforcement bar or rebar is called concrete cover. But we can differentiate concrete cover into two types. Like if we are considering the distance from the outer surface of the concrete, and one important point is that this surface is not finished surface. Finishing is not yet done. So we are actually considering that surface of the concrete cover. So uh, the distance from the outer surface of the concrete to the surface of the nearest reinforcement or rebar is called clear cover or nominal cover, right? And what is effective cover? Effective cover is the distance from the outer surface of the concrete cover to the centroid of the main bar. Centroid or center of the area of the main bar is called effective cover. So where do we actually use effective cover? Whenever a structural engineer is designing any structure, he usually considers the effective cover of the concrete for the designing of any component or any structure of reinforced concrete, right? So that is actual difference. So for now, you can just consider that the concrete cover is the distance between the steel bar to the outer surface of the concrete. So that's the actual definition for concrete cover. You can see this from the image. This is actually a cross section of a beam. So to maintain this concrete cover, right? This is the concrete cover. To maintain this concrete cover, we usually use different kind of blocks or different kind of spacers. Okay, to maintain this cover between surface and reinforcement, we usually use blocks of various materials, which are usually called spacers or blocks. They can be of various materials like wooden blocks, steel blocks, PVC blocks, cement masonry blocks, aluminum blocks, stone blocks. But in most of the time, we see, if you consider the construction sites in Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh, we usually use concrete made up of concrete spacers or blocks to provide or maintain the cover between the steel bars and the outer surface of the concrete. So there is an example image for you. I hope you guys have seen this on your construction sites, either you are students or you are already doing jobs. So these are the blocks or spacers which we use to provide the space between the reinforcement bars and the outer surface of the concrete. Okay, I hope you guys got it. So let's see, what if concrete cover is not provided, or what if concrete cover is not provided properly? Like if we are asked to provide 25 concrete cover for beams or columns, there is a condition, but in actual we are providing just 5 concrete cover. What can happen? You can see in these images, if we don't provide proper cover to concrete between rebars reinforcement or and concrete surface, then the rebars or the reinforcement can be exposed to the external atmosphere. What will happen if the reinforcement bars will exposed to the external atmosphere? Obviously, it can be attacked of corrosion, and then reinforcement is, as we know that reinforcement is prone to corrosion and fire for atmospheric conditions. And if the proper cover isn't implemented, then there is more chances of corrosion and cracks in hardened reinforcement cement concrete. Got it? So that's the main reason we usually provide proper defined concrete covers for all the components, reinforcement concrete components of any building or any construction component. So in this image, you can see some pictures as example for few footings and column. So these are the reinforcement bars and this is the outer surface of the concrete. So we need to maintain this cover so that uh, there will be no any sort of interaction or contact of these reinforcement bars to the external atmosphere. And in this image, you can see a cross section or example of a beam. So this is the reinforcement bar, rebar, and this is the external surface of the concrete. So we need to maintain this concrete cover between rebar and the outer surface of the concrete. So let's see what are the IS defined concrete covers for different components. According to Indian standards, there are defined concrete covers for different components. So clear covers to main reinforcement in footings is 50 mm. And if the foundation is raft, if there is raft foundation, then in raft foundation, the top cover for raft foundation will be 50 mm, but the bottom and sides of the raft foundation, we need to maintain a concrete cover of 75 millimeters. Okay. And for strap beams, we need to maintain a concrete cover of 50 millimeters. For grade slab, we need to maintain 20 mm concrete cover. For columns, it's 40 mm. For shear walls, it's 25 mm. For beams, it's 25 mm. For slabs, it's 15 mm. For flat slabs, that is little bit more as compared to the slabs. Flat slab, we need to maintain 20 mm of concrete cover. For staircase, 15 mm. For retaining walls on earth, 20 to 25 mm. And for water retaining structures, we need to maintain a concrete cover of 20 to 30 millimeters. These are the concrete covers defined by Indian standards. But there are actually few conditions which we need to keep in mind or which we need to consider. Like there are three conditions. If the length of the item is less than or equal to 0.3 meters, there is meter, the unit of this is meter, right? So what do actually I mean by item here? Item means it can be slab, it can be column, it can be beam, it can be retaining wall or footing or any RCC component of the building. So if the length of the item is, or if the length of the beam, column, slab, footing, retaining wall, or any other RCC component is less than or equal to 0.3 meters, then we are supposed to provide concrete cover of 1 inch or 25 mm or 0.025 meters. But if the length of the item is in between 0.4 meter to 0.5 meter, then we need to provide a little bit more cover because the length is increasing. If the length of the component is increasing, then obviously we have to provide more concrete cover. So if the length of the component is 0.5 meter to 0.4 meters to 0.5 meters, then we need to provide 2 inches or 50 millimeters or 0.050 meter concrete cover. If the length of the item is greater or equal to 0.6 meter, then we need to provide 4 inches of concrete cover or 100 mm of concrete cover or 0.1 meters, right? So these are few conditions which we need to keep in our mind while providing the concrete cover to various components like slabs, columns, beams, retaining walls, footings, or any other RCC component. So I hope you guys got the point what I was trying to convey. So I think that's it for today's video, and thank you for watching. See you guys in next video, and we will come up with another topic related to daily civil engineering. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much guys. See you guys in next video. Till then, goodbye.